So in 1971, 72, your grandpa gets out of prison, right?
Right.
He goes home and he meets
Because he
with,
did get set up. He
Yeah.
did get hung out to dry for Lyndon and everybody else who was involved with the contracts and the cotton and what have you. He got hung out to dry because he had Saul in his name and they thought he was a Jew and they hate the Jews.
So he gets out and he goes to this. Let's set up the tape now. So this, I just want to say something. You didn't mention this on Alex Jones, but this is 71, 72. So was the House Select Committee already organizing in those 17 deaths he refers to? Was that the material witnesses in the House Select Committee, or those 17 other people that Johnson allegedly killed? Or do you not know?
These are folks that are just, and honestly, I need to take the time to research all of them and try and figure out who. But they're referring to folks that were killed that were just associated with this whole investigation, the cotton allotment scheme, the fertilizers, this trial, and then this kind of circuit of affiliation with LBJ.
Wow.
So
Okay.
That's not like the whole kill list. Other presidential families have a kill list of 52, 58 people now. I think there's a much longer kill list, but this is just this specific area.
Right, because the House Select Committee, which investigated the Kennedy assassination, for those of you who don't know, was sometime in the 70s. And they had material witnesses that were going to talk about the CIA involvement and stuff. They all died mysteriously as well. That was another, I think, 14 or 15. But anyway, so your grandfather knows what's going on. And to protect himself, insurance thing, he records a conversation that he has. This is the tape you released.
And who is it with?
Yeah, set that up and then we'll play it.
Okay.
Right. And so this is with Clifton Carter. Look him up. He was a bagman, and bagman meant basically they'd go get money, collect money, potentially fundraise, but really kind of whoever needs to pay up, they go get money. And LBJ had a few of them, but Cliff was one of his. Cliff had been with him from early on in Texas, in the Texas Senate, all the way up to D.C. You can go online and listen to Oval Office tapes of LBJ talking with Cliff. Cliff was the executive director at one point of the DNC, and you can see, like, through his career, he's trying to get out of all this. Like, he'd gotten drug into it, and basically the other thing that I learned about LBJ is he would say things in front of you, he'd do things in front of you, and he'd drag you into things to make you a co-conspirator with him. So basically, you're part of it, and you don't have plausible deniability that you didn't know about this coming assassination, or you didn't know about this. It's like, you're part of it. Wow. So he was wise about that. But they went out, it was supposedly outside of Abilene, I think in Hamby, Texas. They went to a small little house, and my uncle, he had married into my family, he married my Aunt Jan, and his name was Daryl Bright. He went with them, and apparently they went out there. Cliff and my granddad, Billy Saul, talked. We always called him Saul. So Saul and Cliff were talking, and they recorded it. And Cliff left. He died not long after that. I've heard some cases it was very shortly after that. But you can hear him on the tape. He says, "Cliff, I'm sorry to see you so downtrodden." And so to me, that means Cliff he didn't sound downtrodden, but something was wrong with him at the time, maybe already, or maybe he was just upset. And he was talking about how LBJ's, health, and LBJ wasn't doing good. And LBJ obviously died not long after this in 1973. I presume natural causes, but a lot of those folks, whether it was Ed Clark, another name, or J. Edgar Hoover, they all kind of died in this 1972, 73 era.
So did Cliff didn't know he was being recorded, obviously, right? Or you don't know?
I wish I knew.
Okay.
I don't. To me, it seems like he would have known.
Yeah, it seems like he would have known.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let the people decide for themselves, but he does say on the tape, he implicates very directly Johnson to the assassination. It's like that's not something you would say in a passing conversation. And in my feeling, like you probably know that he had to put it on the tape, but that's just me speculating. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it live right now? Because I'm going to edit it in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. Let me get it played. Can you hear it?
It's sure good to see you. How's life treating you today?
Well, Saul, it's been a pretty touch and go situation. Lyndon and I have had quite a few unpleasant words here lately over the deal with that he hired Mike Wallace to assassinate the president. It's been hectic in every way, but we've lived through it this far, and I guess we'll continue to do so. Lyndon should have never issued that order to Mike, but we've had our differences, and I'm a true blue to Lyndon, as I've always been, and tried to carry out every order that he'd ever given me. But this is one I'll probably never be able to forget. And the times that we've had in Texas, and the embarrassment that Lyndon had gotten from Kennedy, I guess there wasn't anything else to do but what he did.
Well, you know, Lyndon could have really helped me if he would.
Well, Lyndon's the kind of person that doesn't want to help anyone. He's all for Lyndon, and that's the way he's pretty much always been.
Well, they had me backed up on that Henry Marshall killing, and they just kind of blackmailed me to keep my mouth shut. If I hadn't had a bunch of tapes that I'd played after I got killed, because 17 got killed in this situation very mysteriously. And I've done a lot of time, and I've lost a lot of money, and hurt my family a whole lot. And it's really got me disgusted with Lyndon in one way. In one way, I feel real sorry for him. But I really feel like that in Lyndon's heart, he felt like that he was doing the right thing. He felt like that he was the savior of the common man. I feel like that in his heart he wanted to help people that had not. But I don't believe that anything, my church rights background would have never let me sanction all the killings that he has done. What do you think about it, Cliff? Do you really believe that it could have been handled anyway without killing all these people and got rid of the Kennedys? You think he won the election against him?
Well, I don't really believe so. He tried desperately to do just that, and there didn't seem to be any other way. I know that he regrets a lot of things that he has done, but still, it's been a battle from day one.
Well, Darrell, I sure do appreciate all the things that you've done for us, and I appreciate the trust that I have in you. You bet, anytime. For a long-time friend. And I'm just sorry that I've embarrassed all my friends and put all my friends through this.
Oh, you didn't embarrass me.
And what I was really afraid of, my brother Bob that got killed, our plane was down at Bryan the day that Mike Wallace killed Henry Marshall. And I was afraid it's going to tie him into the thing, and we couldn't afford to. In fact, Pam started to write a book. And when she really got scared when she got into the thing, it was just too scary a deal. But anyhow, this too will pass. Well, it's been a long, long old journey. What do you think about F.O. Bankston?
Well, W.O.'s a great leader, and he's been probably one of the best things that ever happened to Dallas, Texas. Of course, he's got a lot of real good friends, and Lyndon's been one of his true buddies for many, many years. And anything that he just has to have, WO will see that it's done.
Well, I just can't believe that F.O. Bankston has the power over the police department that he has. He buys every year, the sheriff buys him a brand new car, Bill Decker, and I just don't see how politically that he can get with it. But nobody will ever understand. And really, in the early years, I thought that Lyndon really had a mission from a higher power, who I choose to call God, to carry out a lot of things for the common people. And I really believe in his heart that he thought that he was destined to rule the people. How do you size up Lyndon Cliff after all these years of horror?
Well, actually, Lyndon's just been kind of going downhill health-wise and politically-wise. He's just wore out. And I feel like he's come to his end of his rope. But all these things that's been eating on him for all these years have just now taken its course. And I feel like Lyndon's done a lot of good things in his life, and he's done a lot of bad things.
Well, Cliff, I hate to see you so downtrodden and so discouraged. And I just hope that you can get a hold of yourself and not be so tore up. But anyhow, let's go in the house and let's have a cup of coffee and something to eat. Okay?
Sounds good to me. So.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
So you see